Good evening again, everyone. Me too, I feel sleepy. This is my fourth Mass just today, so at least I can feel, my feeling when I was still in the Philippines. This is one of the things, the experience that I experienced there that I miss during, when the Simbang Gabi starts, 16th or 15th in the evening until 25, you know, most of the priests there are exhausted because it's not only one Mass that we are doing there, especially on Sunday. I think the maximum number of Masses that I did there one time was 6 Masses just on the Sunday. And just think, it's the Philippines, it's in the Philippines. So every Mass I need to change my inner, t-shirt because of so wet because of the, how do you call that one? Humidity, something like that. But anyway, at least I can still, it gives me a feeling that, yeah, Christmas is coming. Because one of the things is I feel sleepy. I want to sleep. And some of you also. But I know some of you after this Mass will be going to a Christmas party. So you still have that energy. But anyway, we are now in the third night of our Simbang Gabi, Misa di Gallo, or our novena in honor to the Blessed Virgin Mary. This is actually a journey, 9-day journey with her as we await, as I said earlier, as we are waiting for the birth of Jesus. So most of the time, aside from Jesus, Mary is the center of our celebration. I mean, she is our star. She is our guide throughout these 9 days before Christmas because she is carrying the star of that coming Christmas, which is Jesus. Well, when Jesus will be born, the star will be there. But these days, we tried to be with her, to see what he saw during that time, to feel and to experience that she experienced while waiting for the birth of Jesus. But in today's reading, it's not so much with Mary. We turn our focus today with her husband, which is Saint Joseph. If you are here this morning as we celebrate St. Peregrine Healing Mass, or if you were in cathedral last evening, the verses before today's gospel is the genealogy, the family tree of Jesus. After that reading, this is the continuation of that genealogy. Matthew tried to show to us that Joseph is really coming from the family tree of David, from the family tree of Jesse. That's why we have a Jesse's tree, most of the church that we have, because it's a Catholic, traditional Catholic. It's part of our tradition as Catholic to have that Jesse's tree, but it's not that so common compared to the Christmas tree. But anyway, so our focus this evening is more on Joseph. Like Mary, he is also a human being like us. A normal, a simple person was chosen by God to be part of his salvific, or the history of salvation. And I can assure you that all of us will do the same thing what Joseph supposed to do. As we have heard, it says that Joseph, being a man of honor and wanting to spare Mary publicity, decided to divorce her informally. He tried his best to live a good moral life. He followed all the commandments of God. He followed any tradition of the Jews that they have. That is why to discover, they are in the middle of a betrothal, not fully as wife, let us say, that Mary. And then he will hear that news that Mary is pregnant. And a man with honor, a man with moral life, the normal reaction is this. He decided to divorce Mary, not to take Mary anymore as his wife, because it will, destroy his image. I am a man, he would say. I am a man of God. I am trying to live a life in a good moral way. To take Mary, who is now pregnant before our wedding, before she will be my lawfully wife, it is against my, life that I practice. That's why he decided to divorce Mary. Because for him, that's a normal thing to do. That's a good thing to do. Even he tried to do it silently or secretly, because he knew what will happen to Mary if people will discover that she is pregnant outside their marriage. She will be stoned to death. That's why he wanted to divorce her silently until the angel of the Lord appeared to him. This is actually the annunciation of to Joseph. If Mary has its own annunciation, Joseph also has its own annunciation, where the angel appeared in his dream, telling him, do not be afraid to take Mary home, because this is part of God's plan. How many times in our life, when we are in the middle of difficulties, when we are in the middle of struggles, and we wanted to say, okay, this is enough, I give up. This is too much, I can't bear it anymore. It is too difficult. Even sometimes we tell God that, what's going on? Why you are making my life so hard, so difficult? Even we are sometimes mad at Him because of our experiences, difficult experiences. And we wanted to avoid that situation sometimes. Because for us, to face challenges, difficulties is very hard. Joseph did the same. He knew that if he will take Mary as his wife, problems will be there. Questions will be there. So instead of facing that reality, he wanted to avoid that difficulties. But what happened to him? Because of his faith and trust to God, he was able to face that reality, that problem. Some of you I told, as I said, that this is my 4th Mass. From the morning, we have that saying before in the seminary, from the rising of the sun to its setting. Some of our priests are doing the Masses all day. He is known for that, from the rising of the sun to its setting. Now I feel what he felt. Sometimes there's a question that what I am doing, why I ran there, actually after the St. Peregrine Mass. I took some food, drive my car going to Chittering to attend the wedding. And after that wedding, immediately come back. At least I can have rest before I do the confession in St. Luke and Mass. I can say no to that, you know. I can choose to stay there in our house, lay down, eat my dinner. But this is part of our challenges. You know, before I was ordained, I made up my mind that this will be my final, yes to the Lord. There's a question. If I'm going to paraphrase it, it is like, are you sure that you're going to accept this ministry to be ordained as priest? Are you really sure? Something like that. Even for the couple, there's an question, something like that. To make it sure that you will not back out later on after the ceremony. The same thing with me. I already say, yes, okay, Lord. So I need to do what I promised to God. Even sometimes it is difficult. But to tell you, if this is a difficult here that experiences, it is nothing compared to the Philippines. That's why we are a bit, even Father Leonard, we are a bit used to it. Because what we are doing there, back home, is more than what we are doing this time. So, when we trust God and depend on His grace, like Joseph, He will be there. We can overcome whatever challenges that we are facing at the moment and will be facing later on. Because challenges, problems, difficulties will never go away from our life. Maybe we are happy this time, we don't have stress. To tell you, just count few days, something will appear. That's why we need the grace of God, to control our life in a proper way, in a right way, like Joseph. Someone told me after the Mass in St. Luke, he said, Father, Joseph is very prayerful man and he has that strong connection with God. Even in a dream, he can communicate God and trusted God in a dream. The same Joseph in the Old Testament and the same Joseph in the New Testament. That is why for us, we can hear the word of God not in our dream because we are not Joseph, but we can hear the word of God from the other people, maybe from your husband, from your wife, sometimes from your children. If we listen carefully and trust to that word, it's our guidance. So in this Mass, as we continue, we ask the intercession of Saint Joseph to help us also to pray and ask God to give us that courage and trust to whatever His will that is given to us. To ask the mercy and graces of God to continue this journey and also perseverance that we may finish and complete this 9-day novena in honor to the Blessed Virgin Mary.